My reaction to the film was that I thought it was a better movie. I feel like our effects were there a little bit more in service of the story than they were in the first one, and I think that we pushed the limits much harder than what we did in the first one. We were kind of learning to walk in the first one, and we did a fair amount of running in the second one.
When you're working on it, you get so wrapped up in like all the little details, and when you finally see it, especially with the sound and the score, it really all comes together.
It seemed like a lot more work went into it. You know, it seemed like we really put a lot into it. We did some things that had never been done before. I think that's one reason the effects were above and beyond what you usually see in a film.
Clearly, the train sequence garnered an awful lot of praise and observation.
Maybe it's a result of us working on that probably the longest. We worked on the train sequence from the minute we started on the film to the very end.
It was one of the most difficult sequences for us, so I think a lot of us were just more thinking of it in terms of a problem as opposed to some grand thing that you can really sit back and enjoy. We could never enjoy it while we were working on it, so we couldn't imagine enjoying it while we were watching it. Yeah, the Bake Off is really it's one of the big events of the year for visual effects, and it's where all of the visual effects supervisors and producers and artists all come together and listen to presentations by the people who worked on the movies to the Academy.
The branch has a nominating committee, small group of people who go through and pare it down to 7 films, and that's where the bake-off comes into play.
In this case, the visual effects designer, John Dykstra, goes out, he talks about the film for about 5 minutes, then they run 15 minutes of the actual film. It can't be cut, it can't be a how-to or how it was done or show and tell type of thing. It has to be your basic footage as it was in the movie. And then there's a question and answer period with the 4 on stage, and usually different people chime in and say this or that.
It's kind of an intimidating crowd because it's everybody who you've worked with before, who you currently work with, and who you might hope to work with again in the future. So it's kind of usually the best and the brightest in the industry who attend, and it's really kind of exciting.
The branch at large, which is a significantly greater number of people than that nominating committee, vote out the 3 out of that they think best represent the state-of-the-art of visual effects and mechanical effects at the time.
Sony put on a big and very effective campaign for the Oscars. I mean, every little thing they could do, they did. They did the full-page ads, but paper inserts, and then some of them would be glossy. That was, an interesting way to catch one's eye.
We also did a lot of conferences and talked about a lot of the effects and techniques behind the film in a way that all different sort of audiences could understand, from people who didn't have CG experience to people who were high-end 3D users.
I can't say that I was surprised that we were nominated, because I think that the work was worthy of it. It's always a surprise. It's always an honor to be selected, in that capacity. But, it's one of those things where I didn't wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and watch to see the names announced.
It's a good feeling. You feel like you caught the big fish or something. You feel like you've accomplished something. So there's a tension before that, and then the relaxation.
At 6:30, I got up, and my mother-in-law, who we were staying with at the time, came in and looked us up on the internet and found out. So my family went out and just had bagels to celebrate in the morning.
I thought that the idea of assembling those nominees where there were groups of people on stage prior to the announcement of the award was probably fine, because each of those people got a chance to be seen on television by their family.
If we hadn't have won it, I would have just, I think, enjoyed the whole experience of being a different experience. But when we did win, it was great to be able to like have a moment to reflect and look out and see the people I know.
A lot of people think I turned and just had my mouth open like I was surprised, but actually I turned to John and I said, "Right on," and it probably looked like my mouth was open because I said "on" so big, and it was a great moment.
When you're given an Academy Award, of course, you have to go to all the parties that allow you to enter, and of course, it's great.
For that one night, you really feel like a rock star, because everywhere just passing people in the limo, if you hold out the Oscar, everybody wants to yell and touch it and come over and say congratulations.
On my way in, Donald Trump is in the way, and the security kind of push him aside a little bit to let me go through.
You can have a chat with any celebrity or star that you might ever want to talk to, because this is a great entree.
Clint Eastwood came up to me and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Well, looks like you got a little brass for the mantle, son."
It's the first visual effects Oscar for Sony Pictures Imageworks as a company, and everybody here at the company's kind of wanted to break through that for such a long time that I think it's great for the organization, and it's kind of been nice for all the artists who worked on the show and at the company to just enjoy it.
The first Academy Award was essentially for a lot of engineering and adaptation of technology from other arts into the motion picture world, and I think this one is perhaps more reflective of the adaptation of visual technology to the telling of the story. I think there's a little difference between the two, and it's great to have been there for both.
I think that I could speak for the rest of the guys involved with this project, that they already had high standards or they wouldn't be here, and you certainly want it again. It's what drove you to get here in the first place, is your desire for excellence, and I think that no matter what I go after or no matter what they go after, that they're going to strive for the very, very best that they can do.